All right, so do you want to talk about the fashion? Well, I'm so excited for this section. I know we don't do fashion every single time, but this book, you have to talk about the fashion. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, the juicy stuff and the low-rise jeans and the bucket hats. Bucket hats are back again. You know that, right?
Yeah, they've been back for a while and I don't know why.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
look
Has
horrible.
some. They're cute. Well, they're cute on her. I can't pull it off, but I don't like it when guys wear them.
I think beyond an age group, you shouldn't wear it. That's
Right.
about it.
Just like overalls, like the little dungarees overalls.
Yes, yes.
I think there's
Yeah.
an age limit for those. Unless you're
Or if
painting
you're,
your house.
yeah, or if you're like a farmer or something, like running a ranch, then I'll accept
Yes,
it.
because it's practical for those types of roles. That's funny.
Okay. So, out of all the great themes which go on throughout this book, the biggest and the most fun theme is fashion and fashion in the 2000s, which is now referred to as Y2K fashion. Now, fashion in the 2000s, it's described as like a global mashup because people were becoming aware of the fact that their country and their border was not the entire world. People were slowly learning that maybe there are countries like India and you can wear a t-shirt with photo of Kali Mata on it and that's cool and kind of hip because it's sort of alternative as well. So that's the whole thing. It was such a global mashup because the world was getting smaller and the world was getting small enough to like have interfaces with different culture. So at this time there was a fusion of like vintage styles. There was a good like a good rise in ethnic clothing. Like if you remember Aishwarya Rai wearing a sari during the first Cannes film festival that she went to. So people were like really owning their creative expression at that point of time. Also, fashion was being standardized in a certain way as well. And this standardization I have seen through the Western media culture in the form of these trends. And these trends are low rise jeans. What views do you have on that, Katie?
I wore them. I did the thing where I cut the band off my jeans, like a couple pairs. And
Then
I
how would you wear them?
well, you just wear them. You just the zipper works. They stay up because they're so skin tight. I think did we keep the button on? I don't remember, but I remember, yeah, wearing those, and I should not have been let out of the house. But remember, like Christina Aguilera, I think really made them popular around that time when she did the video like Dirty. But Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears were two that definitely, and Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, they all wore those really low. And they even did like in the last in the musical, the last song in the musical in the movie version of this book that we watched. Lindsay Lohan has some low rise pants on, and where they've got the V cut, and they go down really low. God, I just don't want them to come back. That's all.
I think I skipped her being when Britney and Christina were at their height. I think I did not have access to things like in the sense that I was of an age when my parents bought my clothes and I of my own accord I used to dress like an Ella. Like I will like genuinely tell you I had a neat bob. I would wear like sensible t-shirts and sensible shirts and I would wear low
Oh,
rise jeans. I would wear low rise jeans, but they would not be skinny. They would be in the regular, like in the regular style, like slightly more freer and baggier than a skinny
oh
jean.
yeah. I mean, they were boot cut because they were boot cut were popular, but you cut. They were more fitted like from like say the knee up, and then from the knee down, it was like the boot cut or like yeah, the regular of that time.
Also, I have to mention like having subtropical genetics and a subtropical physiology and body. I mean, I have hips and I have an ass. Like, where do I can't like wear low rise jeans in the way low rise jeans are meant to be worn. Yeah, I never got into the fad of skinny low rise jeans because I knew they would like never really look good on me. So I used to wear low rise, but like the baggier, slightly baggier, like low
Yeah.
rise.
Like, did you guys have Jinkos? The JNCO where they were like baggy and
Oh, I'll also have
drug
to
on the
tell you.
ground.
No, I'll also have to tell you during 2000s, like till about 2012, 2015, we did not have major like Western fashion brands. Like we didn't have an H&M. And H&M opened in India in 2016. H&M is just 10 years old.
Wow.
Zara is 12 years old. We had like our Indian brands. So there's this one clothing brand called Pantaloons. There's this one clothing brand called West Side. So they would try to replicate Western designs, which like a Zara or a H&M or an American Eagle or a Old Navy or Hollister, Abercrombie. Like we didn't have any of these like specific brands. So even getting like real skinny low-rise jeans was not possible because I think our brands were not able to like replicate the design so like specifically at that point of time, whatever the fashion and clothing technology was. So yeah, and also because brands came in so much later, it's like I definitely did not have access to like, I would say fashion. Also, when you're in your uniform for 5, 6 days in a week, for 8 hours every day, you kind of don't care about fashion because you know your life, like half your life you're spending in a uniform. So, and also parents, like, I don't know in India how much the whole allowance culture is now, but there wasn't a big enough allowance culture to be able to buy clothes. Like, you'll be able to buy books or like a lip gloss, or like a lip balm or something like that, not enough to be able to like go and like shop for clothes, so you would have to take a parent. Yeah, so I never got like the OG skinny low rise jeans, like I didn't have access to it. And then when I grew up, I had hips and ass, and then I was like, it's just not going to look good on me. Okay, also, what are juicy sweatsuits all about? Like, Juicy is not in India. So why did Juicy have such a chokehold on people?
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
it's just velvety track pant and like a zip up hoodie. Like what? Why
Yeah, I
did
think it
you
was
have
the
Juicy?
no,
Did you
I
have
didn't.
it?
I wasn't into Juicy, but oh, I remember and like all the Juicy things and just having Juicy logo on like the purse and the having it on your butt and all that. Yeah, it wasn't my thing, but I remember Ed Hardy was big. I remember back in the day the trucker hats were really big, like Ed Hardy trucker hats and Von Dutch. You remember Von Dutch?
Trucker hats are back now,
Oh
like
God.
bucket hats. They are also
Yeah,
back.
I'm not
So
surprised.
basically everything is just coming back. And like I already mentioned that owl necklace. We have to put a picture of that owl necklace.
Oh, yes. Let me make a note. Yes.
Owl necklace, and I remember scarves. There were so many scarves
Mhm.
and stoles, and I don't know what we used to call it, but there were just a lot of scarves. And like I used to
Yes.
love the glitter scarves that would go like around your neck. I loved scarves a lot. I was not into hats just in general because my head is too big.
Same. Yeah.
But my fashion, like I would tell you, since the day I was born till I was about 18, my fashion was totally Ella adjacent. Like I was a conservative, sensible dresser. That's how I used to think of
Oh,
myself in my head. Also, where would I buy a mini skirt? There are no mini skirts available.
I think now, well, yeah, there are. I've seen some short stuff now lately on some of these young women and like mini dresses are back. Remember the bandage dresses?
Yeah,
Those
the bodycon
yeah, those were
dresses.
bodycon. Yes. Oh, I got to add that on the list. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
Kim Kardashian made bodycon famous, and I think Paris Hilton made Juicy like
yep.
really famous.
Yeah. And then Lindsay Lohan made Dooney and Burke famous. Lindsay Lohan. I think she was also the face of the campaigns. I'll write this down. But do you remember the Dooney and Burke purses?
I don't know what they are actually.
She made those back in the day, in her heyday, back when this movie came out. She made that a thing. My sister had to have like a Dooney and Burke purse, so my mom bought her like a Dooney and Burke purse and wallet. It's on the same level as maybe like Coach or something like that. Like, $100, $200. I mean, it wasn't my thing. I thought it was a waste of money personally. And to each their own, I would never spend that much on a bag. I'd rather, spend it on a vacation,
Yeah,
spend it on a trip.
exactly. Okay, so Now, since we have spoken about like some of the kitschy things that 2000s fashion had, we should now circle back to the fashion in the book Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. Now, our our villainous villain, Carla Santini. Now, her fashion, she's described as sophisticated, refined, having access to designer clothes, and just being polished in general. So, her fashion was wearing DK leggings, a silk Armani top, and black boots. Honestly, when I read this description, I'm like, is she going to an office? Like, I was like, isn't this business casual? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
imagine a black
Let's see.
legging, a silk Armani top, and black boots. Yeah, she was like, I think for her age, she was dressing very business casually, which I understand because I think designers like designer brands, luxury designer brands, I don't think they make kid stuff, do they? Like very kid. I don't think they make like very kiddie stuff, do
No,
they?
but she was
I have no
wearing
idea.
probably like no, I mean, she wasn't probably shopping in the kids' clothes. She was probably shopping in like the juniors section though at at the mall. I remember during that time in the late 90s, and there was a store called 579 that had some of that stuff and like Wet Seal, where it was like business chic was a
Yeah.
trend. Because I remember having some like pinstripe stuff, pinstripe like look office looking skirt. I'm going to high
Mhm.
school. So yeah, I
So
do.
it
I
was
remember late 90s and into yeah, early 2000s.
business casual chic. Okay, that was the thing that was going on. but
Yes. Well,
but
actually,
I
yeah,
think,
there was because we went to like some of us like went to the club like that. I remember. Yeah.
ooh, oh,
Yeah. And then Lola's fashion was like the complete opposite. Lola's was out there. I mean, I was pretty sometimes I like to dress like not wild, but like not run of the mill occasionally, but Lola's fashion in this book especially was completely like very
it's
I
very
would say like
artsy,
yes, very
artsy,
artsy.
thrifty, vintagey, contemporary as well. Like she was
Mhm.
kind of all over the place, but I would call her style more like boho chic. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, come on, she's the daughter of a artist. She's a daughter of two artists. So it had to come into her. I don't think she could like just wear business casuals and feel creatively free as she would like keep
Yeah.
describing how her creative freedom is being curbed. So Lola's fashion was like wearing dramatic things like a velvet cape. And she would wear this velvet cape whenever she was in a moody, gone with the wind vibe. And she would wear like when Siddhartha broke up and she was going through her mourning period for the band, she would just wear black clothes and she would wear black eyeshadow, black lipstick, and yeah, her and she throughout the book she goes to a lot of thrift stores, she goes to a lot of charity stores, she goes to a lot of like places where you would not find fast fashion or you wouldn't even find like a standardized trend throughout. That's why I think her whole fashion is so like inspirational. It's sometimes cringe, but it's very inspirational as well. So would you give Lola's fashion a yay? I think also the movie did a brilliant job of
Yes.
figuring out Lola's wardrobe. Like it was really good. It was crazy good. Yeah. So talking about Lola's fashion, recently Lindsay Lohan did a Vogue interview about her fashion since 1998. And in this interview, she gives a little bit of an anecdote about how she kind of picturized Lola's wardrobe, what she thought her fashion would be. So apparently Lindsay's whole idea was to wear chipped nail polish so that you look like a grunge punk teen who's kind of alternative and not exactly in the mainstream. Also, she at that point of time, she wanted to dress like Britney, but not as adult as Britney. Like she wanted to like have a PG-13 but as dramatic as Britney's outfits on her concerts. She wanted like that kind of a whole vibe. That is why throughout the movie we see her coming up with banger after banger outfits with accessories. Like she would wear a hat or a scarf on her head, and she would just like, I don't know, it was so creative the way she would like accessorize herself. I really loved that. And also, in the movie, the producers wanted Lindsay Lohan to have like red hair, because in the book as well, the character Lola is supposed to be a redhead. And but then, because Lindsay Lohan at that time was going through a rebel phase, she like bought this box dye from some like store, and
Uh-huh.
she highlighted her own hair, because she was like, I felt like rebelling. They wanted it too red. I thought it should be highlighted. So she did a home
So
highlight
that's
job.
what so she did that for the movie?
Yeah.
That's I mean, in the movie, because I love it. I that was such a thing, those chunky blonde
Yes.
highlights. That was so, like, indicative of that time. That was perfection. Yeah.
She was like totally, she was like, the producers were so mad after she showed them her highlights, because they looked so exactly, they looked home done, like as if you you took your hands and you literally used it on your hair. But I think that also added to the authenticity, like the authentic vibe of the movie. The fact that,
Mhm.
I mean, come on, as a 16-year-old, would you go to like a salon and blow, I don't know how much ever money to like get highlights done? No, you would just buy it from some store and experiment at home, as you're supposed to do as a teenager. Oh, now we have to come to Ella's fashion. And this is so funny because I say I used to wear clothes like Ella, but more Ella from the movie and less Ella from the book. So, Ella's fashion, according to Lola, Ella dresses like a politician's wife or like a businesswoman. So, she's either in cardigan sets, sensible shoes. Her entire wardrobe is polished but sedate. It's like it's like, what was that fashion that we were talking about in The Wife Upstairs? The
Oh.
wo-
Yeah, shout out episode 1. Go watch episode 1. Is it? No.
no, I
No,
guess
episode
that's
2. Sorry, episode 2. Episode 2. Episode 1, we try not to think about the book.
because they were barely wearing clothes half the time.
I know. Gosh, what was the for the women's fashion in episode
Yeah,
2?
the southern how do
Yep.
you the A-line dresses. Yeah,
Lily Pulitzer. Like
the
Lily
Lily
Pulitzer?
Pulitzer
Uh,
dresses, the A-line
mhm.
dresses, guys wearing like chinos and lacrosse t-shirts,
Popped collars. Did you remember
popped.
that? The double popped collars? I hated that even back then.
Ella's fashion in the movies, I thought it was like very realistic. I mean, that's what like a regular teenager going to a school would wear.
Yeah.
Or I wish I could get to wear that instead of a uniform. I think. Yeah, that's what's going in my mind. Coming to the romantic interest, Sam Creek, he is the token bad boy of Delwood. He is he's also like aloof and mysterious. He wears a black leather jacket. He has a Celtic tattoo. He has beaded dreads and he has a lot of earrings and an attitude. I would kind of be into him, honestly speaking. Just because he has a very anti bullying stance. Like, I would be attracted just to that. Then you add no half pants, full pants, and I'm like, whoa, hot.
That's so I've never heard half pants before today. That's hilarious. I love that. Oh my
So,
gosh.
this was Sam Creek's fashion. Would you be into a guy like that when you were 16? If he wore a black leather jacket, combat boots, white t shirt, he had a tattoo, he had some
No.
earrings.
No. I like clean cut, nerdy. Yeah. I didn't want like yeah, no bad boys cuz bad boys just break your heart. But he was a good bad boy. He wasn't that bad. But I guess for them he was the neighborhood and that they kind of that the author describes kind of a little bit reminds me to a lesser degree of that oh gosh, what's the it's a book, but they made it into a film with Nicole Kidman, Stepford Wives. It's very
Oh.
Stepford, and so I think he wasn't that bad for like a Stepford kind of neighborhood or area. He was bad because he wore certain things, but he was a cutie, and in the movie they really did him justice. He was cute.
Yeah, he was really cute. I think he's the boy Lola of Delwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the
The
boy
black sheep.
Lola. So this was like the fashion. And yes, Siddhartha, the band, they all wear these beetly, extremely flared pants, the weird suits with like the big lapels, very 1960s, hippie times, flower power. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those times. So this is how the fashion of the band was. But then again, now that they have solo careers, who knows how they would rebrand themselves as solo artists. Yeah, so I think we are done with fashion.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I was writing notes of because I was already coming up with images in my head of stuff that I'm gonna put in.